Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to SCDC ENT Presents The Age Woman. I am your girl Nicole, and today I want to talk to you guys about studying the Bible and the scriptures, because I noticed that a lot of women, a lot of sisters get stuck in studying doctrine like they're about to be on the street corners teaching the brothers or teaching the people the word. And that's not what we about to be doing. I mean, and let me give my disclaimer. This is my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But just entertain me for a minute, okay? All right. So, I think that as women, we should not be all deep into doctrine, trying to break down this and break down that, because that's not our calling. The first thing, I think that if a true woman that's interested in knowing what the law says should have a notebook and have written all 613 laws at least once. I think that's period. You have to start there, because how can you keep the law when you don't know what they say? How can you do that when you don't know what they say? You don't know each set of laws and what laws are you're responsible for right now. That should be your first and second goal, to at least write the laws. And you hardcore women that go hard for the Bible, you should be at least on your second notebook by now. You should have at least written them twice, so that they're in your spirit. Okay, that's number one. We don't have to break down Jonah and the whale and know and understand that it was a serpent in the garden and all this. We know we know that the serpent in the garden was the white man and different things like that, because we done been taught. So we know we need to learn these stories of the Bible. The story about the beginning, how Adam and Eve and what Eve did to, bring us into sin, and teach our girls about that, and teach our sons about Jonah and the whale, in the belly of the whale, in its correct references and metaphors. We need to learn the stories of the Bible. It's so many of them, in the New Testament, the Old Testament. We need to familiarize ourselves with those things first. And that's plenty enough to do. That should be you guys' first, second, and third thing, to study the stories of the Bible. And then through studying the stories of the Bible, you'll gain, just like they said, the Bible is not only a book of prophecy, but it's a book of stories. It's a storybook about our history. So you ladies should know these stories and should be teaching these stories to the kids. You should meditate on the stories. You should go to bed reading about the stories of the Bible, because that's your history. And that's where we going wrong at, because we're listening to these guys with the camps, and we're out there trying to quote the word and disputing facts that's above your pay grade. You don't have the right to question the Most High's word. How dare you? You know what I'm saying? You got y'all. I couldn't even. I'm like, in the scripture, they like, for real? You dare speak about stuff like that? You dare have a doubt and be trying to add your 2 cents to what the Most High said? I think not. That's how I know some of y'all out of order, because y'all know y'all ain't got no business. Y'all have a misconception about what your purpose is and how you supposed to be operating, because you thinking like a dude. You see how these men rolling. But we as women, we should be discussing the Bible. We should be discussing the stories of the Bible, how to apply them to our lives so we can be better people and support our husbands correctly. A lot of you women, y'all, you don't like poly marriages and the fact that the men may decide to have multiple wives, but the nation of Israel was created with 4 different women. You can't deny that. So if that's a custom that was practiced, if that man choose to, and not only that, if you read the story, the women actually brought their maids to sleep with Abraham. They actually brought women to sleep with them. So what are you talking about? They brought women, they gave women their servants to him to have babies with, because he was making so many sons. So you women you be out of line, and you be talking crazy because you do error not knowing the scriptures and the stories. So you need to read, period. You need to read these stories, and you need to stop applying your feelings and emotions to things that's above your pay grade, period. And I'm just, that goes for all y'all, because I mean, I don't know what I thought. Like I thought that, like, when we as women come together, we gonna be in there trying to have classes where we teaching each other how to sew, where we're talking about getting our life together, making cookies, how we can benefit and help each other. That's what I'm thinking we talking about. I'm not in here trying to discuss John 3:16 all day with y'all. What you talking about? We supposed to be in here making jewelry and beads and incense and soaps and stuff to sell to the people. We supposed to be coming together like that. Especially if you got a congregation of women. Unfortunately, I'm in lonely South Carolina, close to North Carolina, but I'm in the country. So you women have no excuses. If you're able to come together as a group of women, you women should be investing in similar things. Coming together, y'all can sell that on the street corners, or whatever, sell them online or whatever. But you ladies should be coming together, building things together as a team. I don't understand what your purpose is if it's not for that. Not still working individually. We all come together. If one of my sisters got a business, we all get together and sew fringes and help her with her shirts and everything, because she gonna put the money back into the community, and she gonna help us all. We doing this as a labor of love for all ourselves. And even if we don't get nothing back, so what? We doing it to help. If you don't make any money back off it, so what? What's wrong with giving some time to another sister, showing us some love? You women have to rethink yourselves, because you think that you know what you're doing and you don't. And the problem is, can't nobody tell you nothing, and you operating under a worldly thinking mind. You cannot cross over being a spiritual person still doing the same things that you was doing when you was worldly, because it does not work like that. You can't be both. You can't be having hateful. You see a sister, her skin light, she light and pretty, and she can throw a hair wrap on. That ain't got nothing to do with you. We are all daughters of Zion, and we don't have no reason to feel envious about anything. Each one of us we're like the hairs on the Most High's chin, and he has a beard. So we're like, each one of us is like a hair follicle on his face. He loves and knows about each and every one of us. So, and each and every one of us has talent, skills, beautiful mindsets, poems, loving sonnets to sing, songs to make. Each one of us contributes to this earth in a magnificent way. But we're cursed people, so we're not really able to develop ourselves. And because another woman has time to develop herself, you find the need to be in your feelings about that, and you wrong. Whatever her talents is, she's taking the time to develop her talents. If you talk to her, she might, and if you're interested in what she's doing, she may teach you how to do what she's doing. Because truth be told, we are not competition. Because if you live in another state and you live in another state, you live in another state, how are we competition? We just competition on Facebook. But you can do whatever you want to do in your own community. You can take your kids, if you have that, you got people surrounding you. You can take those ideas back to your area and utilize them. You don't ever have to feel no type of way about nobody and what they're doing. If you want to do that, you can create whatever you want. You have to put your mind to it, and you have to do it. You have to do it. You can't just talk about it. You got to be about it. You got to wake up in the morning. You got to do it. You got to research. You got to invest. You got to do it, because nobody's coming to do anything for you. And for you to have hatred in your heart and malicious intent toward another sister just because she pretty and she got some skills that you don't have, you absolutely out of order. Period. And that is not a good look for a daughter of Zion. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but that's just not a good look for a daughter of Zion. We have to handle ourselves a certain type of way, and you handling yourself like the peasants. So I'm just going to check you now on that. You handling yourself like the peasants. You are expected to be exceedingly wonderful because you are a child of the Most High. So you need to get it together. All this in your feelings and the attitudes and the disrespect to the husbands, you just cannot do that. You cannot do that. I cannot stress that enough. That is not cute. Most High send you a man and you want to be rebellious because you want to do your thing. Once you finally get a man that want to love you and want to respect you, are you out of your mind? Haven't you been through enough bad dudes to see when you got a good one? You got to let all that street stuff go. All that little fast talking stuff that your mama taught you, you better let that go. You better let it go if you want a man. A lot of you women, you're going to be single for a long time because y'all got a bad disposition about yourself. Y'all act like y'all don't see that society has oppressed the Black, Hispanic, and Native American man. It's hard for them. It's very rare that they're able to cross over and go get college degrees and all this stuff. But that don't make them bad people. The thing is that you have to give everybody the benefit of the doubt because we are all oppressed here. Ain't none of us perfect. I am not perfect. I don't even try to be perfect. But I just try to keep it real. We are all oppressed here. So we can't sit here and hold our nose and turn up our nose about a brother who done been going through some things. But one thing in common is at least that we all made a decision to cross the line. We all crossed the line and said that we're going to live according to what the Most High say. And I think that's like the best thing ever. How can you go wrong with something like that? So I love you, sisters. And I have to give it to you real. You know what I'm saying? Sitting in there talking on the videos and propping up green plants and all that behind me. Nah, I need to be in your ear so you can hear me. And I know you might have an attitude and I know you might not like what I say, but listen to what I say a couple of times so it can sink in, because I'm really telling you the truth. If you have these negative flaws about you and if you're not entering this truth with an open spirit of camaraderie with your sisters the right way, please don't be a leader. Because we really need sisters around us who's really ready to build us up, because we are a hurt nation of people. We've been down, we've been lied to, we are a hurt nation of people. And to have people around you in the truth that don't mean you no good is really depressing, because it's already bad enough you done lost your family. Okay, because you done lost your family and your friends, you just choose to separate yourself. So for you to be in the truth and you have people that won't even support you, that's a problem. You got to lose this evil eye that we have for each other, sisters. And I believe, ladies, if we can come together, we can stop these men from being fools too. But we have to come together. We're really missing that as sisters. We don't even know how to be a sister because we so used to doing what we want and not listening to nobody, and can't nobody tell me nothing type of vibe. And that vibe is definitely not good for anybody. That can't nobody tell me nothing vibe gonna have you by yourself and very unhappy and lonely. I'm telling you stuff the way you can be in a real relationship with your husband, where that's your friend, when he like, I don't want to be with nobody else but her, that type of thing. When you in that kind of relationship, you gonna be happy, because guess what, you his priority, because he really loves you. But you got to set yourself up to be like that. You got to capture his heart with your charm and your wit and your ability and your inability to be moved by emotions, and your ability to cook some good biscuits for him, and your inability to respond when he acting the fool. You got to capture that in him. You got to set yourself apart, and you got to raise yourself up to a higher standard, more than what you already are, but what you are destined to become. If you're trying to make it to the heavens, and if you really want to glorify God, and if you really like it, I shouldn't even really have to get into this, because just like I said, once you crossed over, you made a decision to follow the Most High. The Most High wants you to be a good wife to your husband and a good humble woman. Titus 2 and 3. Read the whole first. Start at Titus 1 and just read down. You know what I'm saying? Read it. Read Proverbs 31 and 26. You know, a lady dropped that on me today. You know, I absolutely love that. You know what I'm saying? And there's plenty of them. You know, the Bible, a lot of people say, well, the Bible, and the Israelite men hate women. The woman in the alabaster box story was told 3 times in the Bible. 3 times. And that's the only story that Yahushua himself said, let this gospel be preached throughout the land of her good works. So when you are putting in good works, you're going to be loved. You're going to be loved if you put in good works. You know? But you got to do that in the right spirit. Because good works is not what you want to do. Doing good works is doing what is required of you when you want to or not. Even though you want to go in on him and cuss him out, you don't, because that's not what is required. Even though that's how you feel, you don't do that because you know that you ain't supposed to be doing that. You feel me? You have to make up in your mind that you're not going to be moved by your feelings in every aspect of this truth. Because the truth is, don't nobody give a damn about how you feel or what you think things should be. Don't nobody give a damn about your feelings. And don't nobody give a damn about whether you think something is right or not. Things are what they are. And it's only one way that you can fix it, is by changing it. And it has to be something that you can physically control and change. If it's something that you can't physically control and change, you have to do what they call accept that shit. You have to accept it. If your husband is a certain type of way and you absolutely hate that about him, you're just going to have to accept it and move on. If you've had several conversations about him doing the same thing over and over and over again, and he hasn't stopped, you need to accept that shit and move on. Because you're beating a dead horse. Because you don't control nothing. You don't know that by now? You don't control anything. You are a pebble in an ocean. And you just go on with the motion. You don't control anything. And the more that you think that you control stuff, the more you fuck everything up. You were just going with the waves. That's all. That's all we all are. We have no control over anything. We can try to control things around our home to the best of our ability, but for the most part, we don't control anything. And that's why my plan. If you listen to my previous podcast, I made it clear that when you to be a good wife, you can't apply somebody else's blueprint to being a good wife. You have to develop your own blueprint based on what you have at your house and what you have available to you and what you're dealing with. Because all men are not the same, all women are not the same, all children are not the same. But we have a common ground that we're supposed to set our houses up based on the law, statutes, and commandments of what the Most High said. So we all have a foundation to build something on, and how we structure that is how the Most High tell us to. Okay? So once again, I've talked too long, and I'm sorry, you guys. You know, I love you, and I don't have a lot of time to, we are in the end. It's, this world is almost through. And we have to get it together, because we can't take this foolishness on the road with us. We weak as women. We weak because we don't want to come together. And women, if we cry aloud in one voice, that's going to be a beautiful thing. So I'm your girl. You can always hit me up at queenfromcreation@gmail.com. And, shalom.